It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jacob Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. It is time for the top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. Brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start?
Number 1, we got the Jazz at the Timberwolves tonight for a little NBA Cup action.
I'm going to take some Tylenol before I go in to do the show.
The court is highlighter green.
Yeah.
It's quite bright because it's a cup game.
I hate these courts so much. Not that we can talk about the game itself, but come on, we can find a better way to identify the NBA Cup games, right, than a crazy court that nobody likes to look at.
I agree with you. It's the ultimate cat in the wall. And I don't mind the cup games, but yeah, the court is maybe a bridge too far.
Yeah, just put a picture of the NBA Cup, the trophy, like they do in the finals, on the mid-court, and everybody knows.
Do the sidelines like stars all around the sidelines or something cool.
I don't need to have a seizure watching the game.
I'm with you. Minnesota off to a pretty bad start, and Anthony Edwards was out for a little bit with a hamstring injury. He is back, so you will see him tonight and then again on Monday when the Jazz play them again. But they're 4-4, and the concern here is that they are the fourth worst defensive team in the NBA. And Anthony Edwards being off the court, Anthony Edwards is a good defensive player. Their best player defensively is still Rudy Gobert, and this is kind of the problem with Rudy, is that at some point he was going to age out of his effectiveness. Now, Rudy, his actual numbers independently are really good. Still shoot really poorly when he's your closest defender. He still defends the rim well, but the rest of it isn't just working out together. Mike Conley's way too old. They traded up to get Rob Dillingham to be Mike Conley's replacement, and he's not playing because he's not ready yet, and he may not ever be ready. It's just the hard part of like getting over the hump. They are in a very similar spot to where the Jazz were with Rudy and Donovan, where you're trying to break through and get to that next step. Now, credit the Timberwolves; they made back-to-back conference finals. I just don't know if they have the next gear before they have to retool, and that's kind of what the Jazz realized.
Okay. I think the Wolves' problem, and we'll see how their defense, I guess, goes as the season goes forward. They're a terribly constructed team.
Okay. I don't mind them as much, but okay, I'll listen.
They don't have a point guard. You've
That's a big problem.
astutely pointed that out. And Julius Randle is an awkward fit. He is not the player that they needed. And I think they're weirdly obsessed with playing these two, like playing Rudy with another big. They got that into their mind with Karl Anthony Towns. So that's the reason they traded for Rudy in the first place, because they've got this weird thing where they want to play Rudy with a stretch kind of big. I bought into it, to be honest with you. We talked about it at great length when Rudy first was traded. I liked the trade for Minnesota for that reason. It was a grand experiment. Well, you know what? It sucks. And if they could get another 3-and-D athletic wing or somebody like that, it would be a much better constructed roster on both sides of the ball. You trade Julius Randle for a point guard, for crying out loud. It'd make the team much better. But if you've got Mike Conley as your point guard and he's just getting blown by on every play, and then your defense sucks, well, I don't know if Rudy is the problem. And then Naz Reid
he's been really bad to start the year.
And what is he? He's a stretch big that plays smaller than a guard. And Rudy plays smaller than a guard at times offensively, which it's just weird. It's a weird constructed roster. I think they made a mistake bringing it all back.
Julius Randle's off to an insane start. In fact, their top 3 guys are shooting the heck out of the ball. Maybe the top 4 guys, if you even want to look at it. Julius Randle is taking 5.5 threes a game. He's shooting 44% from 3. He's averaging 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Like, if he plays this way, he's going to be an all-star this year.
What's their record?
Exactly right.
And he was an all-star in New York. And what was their record?
Player, right. It is kind of the blessing and the curse of Julius Randle, which is the production is awesome.
But he doesn't help you win.
And he may not help you win.
He's LaMelo Ball.
He really was. He was much better in the playoffs last year, and was a big reason why they made the conference finals. And they figured out how to, you can play a half-court offense in the playoffs. And he's good in a half-court offense. And he can clearly put up points right now and has obviously been feasting because Anthony Edwards has been out. And by the way, Ant's off to a very good start to this season. 23 points, rebounds and assists a little bit low. But he's also shooting 46% from 3 on 6.5 attempts a game. Dante DiVincenzo's shooting 43% on 8 attempts a game. Jaden McDaniels, who we both like as a 3-and-D guy, is shooting 48% from 3 on 4 attempts. What I'm saying is all these things add up to more than what their 4-4 record would imply. And again, part of that's because Anthony Edwards has been out. I expect them to beat the Jazz tonight. I expect them to beat the Jazz again on Monday. And they'll be up at 6-4, and they will start to look a little bit better. And I think they will get back into the conversation as a top 4 or 5 team in the West. But I don't know. I am certainly worried about the defense. And if the defense doesn't improve, they're going to have to make some real changes. And it may start in the backcourt where, Mike Conley again and Rob Dillingham are really hard to play, to the point where Bones Highland, who's not a very good player, has bounced around a lot in his career, is getting minutes over Rob Dillingham.
Do you think he's an example of somebody who's still in the league because of their name?
Terrific name.
Terrific name.
Yeah, really good name. He is... He just kind of has a job until the next guy who does exactly what he does comes along. Because there's always that guy who is the third guard on your roster who's just like a little bit better than your young guy and certainly not as good as your veteran. So you can kind of just justify playing him, which is pretty similar to what the Clippers were forced to do at times last year. It's what the Nuggets had to do. And the Nuggets gladly replaced him with Russell Westbrook, which is not a great endorsement. And the Clippers gladly replaced him with Chris Paul and Bradley Beal. And Bradley Beal has been terrible as well, so it's not a glowing endorsement. And that's exactly what the Timberwolves are going to have to do.
What's next?
Number 2, looking like Jojo Phillips is back for BYU. He was on the initial depth chart on Monday and not listed on the injury reports.
Hey, if he can be effective, that's a big deal.
Absolutely. Getting another guy out there that can make plays, it's a real plus. No, BYU has a chance to do something unique, which is get healthier at the end of the season. It's not usually the case for a lot of these teams. So if you could get Jojo Phillips out there.
Man, Parker Kingston emerging as a real threat is a huge storyline for BYU. Maybe something that we're not talking enough about. Because now if you bring back JoJo and you've got 3 dudes as receivers, that changes the entire way that the Raiders are going to scheme for the Cougars, I would think.
Yeah, if you even feel like you have the ability to prepare for that much. You probably don't.
Remember when we were watching Chase Roberts emerge, and I'm not going to bring up any names because I don't want to disparage any other receivers, but it was kind of like, oh, man, this guy better hit because they don't really have another top guy. And I don't know if JoJo's a top guy or even if Parker will become that, but having 3 playmakers, like legit, you have to cover this person on every single snap. Man, that's going to change. That's going to change a lot, I would think. If he can be effective and make a big play early, that'd be a big deal.
Last year, Jojo Phillips, 13 games played, only 10 receptions and 200 yards, but he is a big play guy. That's the thing. He's a deep threat, 20 yards per reception.
Because he can fly.
So, yes, and so can Parker Kingston, and then Chase Roberts has great hands. Parker has really good hands, too.
Yep.
So, yes, if you add that extra option in there as just we've committed a safety and a corner to Parker or to Chase or whoever's cutting across the middle because they're both so good there, and then you have JoJo Phillips on the sideline running up. Yeah,
it's a big deal.
Yeah, you're going to be a really difficult team to stop.
Or if that safety is running with JoJo down the sideline, you know what he's not doing is tackling L.J. Martin, who in theory would have the football.
Well, don't be surprised if they go deep to JoJo early on the first play of the game.
Yeah.
Just trying to
they should
take the top off and prove that, hey, you got to be aware of this guy. And then you just milk Parker Kingston and Chase Roberts. But JoJo Phillips, can fly.
All right, what's next?
Number 3, returning to a story from this show a couple weeks ago. Sounds like Fox has parted ways with Mark Sanchez.
Officially fired as of this morning, facing felony charges after stabbing an elderly man. In a, what did we decide? What did we think he was doing? Drunken or...
Well, he
inebriated some way.
And somehow, I would guess he was overserved.
Was he in Washington, D.C.?
No, he was in Indianapolis.
Oh, he was in Indianapolis, okay.
No, he was not in the PCP capital of the country. No, he was... Although that would explain some things, if that.
I feel great.
If that happened.
Can't slow me down at all.
I was telling Ben, I watched one of those drug documentaries about PCP, and apparently it's all but eradicated in this country except for one neighborhood in Washington D.C.
Anyways, neither here nor there. Sorry,
so
inside joke.
I had to explain your funny joke though, because
Inside
that
joke.
actually is quite funny. Yeah, a 69-year-old guy who's just trying to empty the grease traps in the kitchen
At 1 a.m.
At 1 a.m. in a hotel. And Mark Sanchez beat him up. Now, Mark was the one who got stabbed. I can't remember. Did he stab the old guy?
He
or
slashed his face.
Oh, okay. That's right. Oh, yeah, because that picture came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark is probably going to prison. This is probably the least of his worries.
He's going to face a multi-million-dollar lawsuit if it hasn't been
filed already.
He's
probably going to prison. He's certainly lost his job.
Coincidentally, Fox has hired Drew Brees.
Which I don't know if Drew. I'm not familiar enough with his personality.
Never thought I'd see Drew Brees as the backup to Mark Sanchez, but it happens.
They probably were looking for an excuse to hire Drew. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Mark stabbing a guy. They're like, oh, good. We were going to get rid of him anyway. Now this just gave us cause.
You've seen Miracle on 34th Street, how they set up Santa Claus to hit the guy with the cane so they can fire Santa Claus and put him in the in sanatorium, as they used to call it. You think this is a Miracle on 34th Street for Mark Sanchez? You think this was all a setup?
All a setup. Rupert Murdoch set him up.
You get rid of him for Drew Brees?
That would be like right out of the pages of Succession. You know, did you ever watch that show?
Uh-huh.
Set up a really toxic situation to get what you want? Yeah, maybe.
Bad rep. Bad pub.
Although I guess it's not Rupert anymore, right? It's Lachlan.
Mark should have been holding on to this job for dear life because he had a chance to rectify being, although a fine NFL quarterback, certainly not good, but fine, and being the last successful quarterback with the Jets, to fall out of favor because of the butt fumble, have this job, be a handsome guy who can probably talk football on TV well enough to stay employed for a long time.
He wasn't a bad broadcaster.
Yeah.
He was pretty good.
And if you look at, he's Fox. You look at the age of the Fox Sunday morning broadcasters, it's Bradshaw and it's Howie Long and it's Jimmy Johnson. Like, they've got a bunch
Jimmy's gone, but
Jimmy's gone. They've got a bunch of dinosaurs. They need a Mark Sanchez. They need a young, good-looking guy to step up and take over for Bradshaw.
One a little less stabby, though.
Apparently. Yeah, well, he wasn't that stabby before this. So, yeah, now he's out, and he's not going to come back. Real crazy ending to his public spotlight.
Do you think he was just like a hammer looking for a nail? Like the bartender cut him off and he was just bent?
Yes, probably. Yes, you're exactly right. Yes, something had happened. He'd gotten
a
in
fight with his girlfriend or something
on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Or he didn't want to work the Indianapolis game, or he had a meeting with the producer in the morning.
That's it, old man.
Yeah, all right, old guy. You're going to park your garbage truck or your oil truck in front of me?
The old man said, sorry, butt fumble, what'd you say?
Yeah, what'd you say? And he says, pulls out a switchblade. Like he's in West Side Story.
Oh, it's so terrible. All you can do is really laugh.
I'm glad the guy's okay.
I did that. He's alive.
Yeah, he's alive. You know, he slashed his face. It's horrible. This is a guy who, you know, you're talking about a 69-year-old who's still doing a very hard job changing out oil in a grease truck at 1 a.m. Like, this is a guy who's just trying to keep his head above water.
That's a blue-collar dude
right
there.
In Indiana, the most blue-collar person on the planet.
Should be set now, though.
Oh, well, I would think so.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope he takes Mark for the last $22,000 Mark has.
Go enjoy your retirement, pal.
You've earned it.
You've earned it.
Yeah, you earned it before this. You've earned it since.
I can't imagine. I'd love to hear the audio. I don't know. I know the video or some of the videos out there. I'd love to hear the audio. Like the old man being like, wait, what? Huh? No, dude, I'm just trying to get the grease. Have you ever heard those old bits with Adam Sandler where this is a high school janitor being severely beaten? I'd want to hear like that. Like, no, they told me I could be here. What are you doing? Hey!
Security footage from the incident shows Sanchez following the 69-year-old truck driver into an alley before allegedly confronting him. Per the police reports, the truck driver felt physically threatened as the confrontation escalated, leading him to pepper spray Sanchez before pulling out a knife. The driver told police that Sanchez smelled like alcohol and was slurring his speech before the confrontation turned violent.
Forgot about that. The pepper spray didn't do anything.
Mouthful of pepper spray.
Hey, man, what's that cologne you're wearing? Jose Cuervo? Is that Ice by Smirnoff?
Yeah.
I smell. All right, stay tuned. We'll have more coming up next. Bartle at the top of the 11 o'clock hour at 11:30. Don Williams of the Lubbock Avalanche Journal is
Maybe
going
he
to
just
join
didn't
us.
want to call the Colts Raiders game the next weekend.
Stay tuned. Jacob Bed, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.